Michael, you do show up at the oddest moments. Where have you been hiding?
Oh, you know, here and there, you're a little hard to pin down yourself. I went looking for you last night, but...
I believe I was off entertaining a beautiful lady. You know, I never really got a chance to thank you.
Well, I'm sure you would have escaped Kid on your own.
Kid? Oh, sure, I'm grateful for that, but no, I'm talking about Edna. It's funny to think of now, but until that crisis, I actually thought Edna and I disliked one another. Imagine!
Yeah, well, sometimes first impressions are right. The thing is, you shouldn't let Edna distract you from, you know, the business at hand. Finishing your project for the expo and going to see Frankenstein.
Oh, pshaw. I'm far too busy for movies these days.
But,
And as for my project, it's practically done.
the rocket car?
The rocket car? Boy, are you out of date. I've junked a rocket car.
But,
More trouble than it's worth. I'll never figure out a propulsion system that does what I want it to do. And besides, its social utility is practically non-existent.
social utility? Since when do you care about...
The mental alignment meter is a much more worthy project.
The what?
It was Edna's idea, and she's really been cracking the whip to get me to complete it in time for the expo.
Emmett, I'm a little confused here. What day is it?
Why, it's opening day. The opening day of the expo. Which reminds me, I'd better skedaddle back to the lab. If Edna catches me dawdling, there'll be heck to pay. Catch you around, Corleone.
October 12th. Doc?
Come to think of it, it is a bit brisk for August.
Oh, we're 2 months late. The expo's about to start and teenage you is already in over his head with Edna.
I always did have a tendency to plunge into things.
Let's plunge into the DeLorean and get to the right date.
No, it's far too risky. Remember how I was late picking you up in '86?
Yeah?
That should have been a tip-off. Something is horribly wrong with the time circuits, and the problem appears to be getting worse. If we try to jump now, we could find ourselves stranded in the Cenozoic age. Or worse, the Mesozoic.
Then we're stuck?
For the time being, I'll look into the problem and see what I can do. In the meantime, you can go to work on the other problem.
Right. I'll go to the lab and see if I can talk teenage you out of...
Impossible. If young me is already as infatuated as you say, you're not going to be able to talk him out of anything. Believe me, I remember. Better to focus on the more clear-headed half of the couple.
Edna? Where can I find her?
Where do you think? I'll drive. The DeLorean should still function adequately as a means of conveyance in the first 3 dimensions.
You were right. There she is.
My soon-to-be ex-future wife is nothing if not predictable.
Do I really have to talk to her? I mean, couldn't I just hang out until you fix the time circuits and...
Oh!
I'll talk to her. You'd better get the DeLorean out of sight before someone...
Hey, you! Quit blocking the drive! All Car of the Future contestants need to report to the North Tent.
Why not? Good luck!
Come see the Cars of the Future. Brought to you by Statler DeSoto.
What did she have to say?
Edna? Oh, I haven't talked to her yet.
Well, what are you waiting for? We need to get those kids separated.
Spell it B-R-O-W-N. It's not exactly an obscure name.
I still don't see it on the list. I'm sorry.
Oh, for the love... Let me try this one more time. This is the Hill Valley Science Expo, right?
First annual.
Indeed. The purpose of our fair is to showcase cutting-edge technology.
That's right. And to burnish Hill Valley's reputation as a forward-thinking community.
And yet, you want to exclude the maker of the most revolutionary breakthrough of all.
It's not that I want to, but... oh, dear.
Mr. Corleone! You do pop up at the oddest times. What are you doing here?
I need to...
Whatever it is, I hope you don't have to deal with Mr. Stonewall here. His sole function seems to be preventing people from accomplishing their business. Honestly, with him keeping the books, it's a wonder the Tannen gang got as far as they did. Have you seen Emmett?
No.
Then you've heard all about his big breakthrough, the mental alignment meter. Isn't it exciting? And to think, he didn't even realize the import of his discovery until I pointed it out to him. I've never known anyone like him, so oblivious to his own potential.
I kind of wanted to talk to you about Emmett and his potential.
Funny, I didn't spot it myself at first. In fact, for the longest time, I thought I didn't even like him.
Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, Emmett's nice and all, but he's not exactly the kind of guy that has girls swarming all over him.
Well, I'm not your average girl.
Yeah, but...
I appreciate your concerns, Mr. Corleone, but I can take care of myself. I know what I'm looking for in a man, and it so happens Emmett fits the bill to a T. That's Emmett Brown. Rhymes with clown, which I'm beginning to think you are.
Just a simple mix-up, I'm sure.
I've no doubt of that.
Hey, Artie.
Officer!
Officer,
Right. Don't blow your cover.
will you please keep your mind on the task at hand?
Can't talk right now.
Hey, excuse me.
Yeah?
When does the expo
Not
open?
till tonight. Anybody without official business here, please get off the grounds! You got official business here?
Yeah.
Well, stay out of the way of the workers. You look familiar. Do I know you?
Nope.
Yeah?
When does the expo
Not-
open? It's not as nice as my truck back in '86. Jeez, I hope I still have a truck back in '86. It's supposed to have all of Doc's notes for building a time machine, but it's empty. If the real Doc were here, he'd probably say something like, "The timeline ripples have finally caught up with it." Hopefully once I fixed everything, it'll be full again. I'm not sure if I've learned everything I can from Edna.
Well,
I talked to her.
and?
She says she knows what she's looking for, and it's you.
But it can't be me. Wasn't me. Marty, we don't belong together.
You don't have to tell me that.
Find out exactly what her requirements are. I can almost guarantee you that I don't fit them.
You said that Emmett fits your bill of requirements for a man.
Yes?
What would that list be exactly?
You'd make a good reporter, Mr. Corleone, you know that? Well, his physical appearance for one thing. Emmett may not be Clark Gable, but he cleans up surprisingly well. I gave him my grandfather's white suit to wear at the expo. Oh, you should see him in it. He looks positively radiant.
Looks good in a suit. Got it.
And he's completely devoted to me. That's important. I've got no time or tolerance for playboys.
Faithful as a Labrador. Check.
Thirdly, and most important,
Yes?
well, his mind, of course. It's brilliant, and it's virtuous through and through. His own mind map shows him to be a model citizen.
Good brain. I see. And if it turned out that you were mistaken about any of these qualities,
Say, what's your game?
just curious, just trying to understand the female mind.
Well, understand this. I'm not some faint-hearted girl who'd run away at the first hint of trouble. I've made a big investment in Emmett. Not money, but I've sunk all my ambitions into him. I'd have to be thoroughly disillusioned before I'd call it quits with Emmett. Got it?
Uh-huh.
Now, Mr. Cub Reporter, is there anything else?
What the heck is this mental alignment meter of Emmett's?
Oh, it's an absolutely revolutionary invention! Measures a person's affinities, what he's attracted to, what he's repulsed by, that sort of thing.
Interesting. And it really works?
Well, of course! What's the point of inventing something that doesn't work? Or, anyway, it works well enough for my purposes.
Rather hard for me to picture Emmett as a chick magnet.
Chick magnet?
A guy who gets the girls, motors running.
Motors?
Who makes them, you know.
You mean a chic?
Yeah.
Well, it's a matter of taste, I suppose, but when he's properly pomaded and decked out in my grandfather's white suit, Emmett just glows. Makes my heart flutter a bit just to picture him.
You say you know Emmett is a model citizen, but you don't know him as well as I do. Did you know he once cheated some Libyans out of plutonium?
Plutonium? What would Libyans want with plutonium? I'm sure he had a very good reason. Emmett's mind map demonstrates conclusively his brain is oriented toward virtue.
This one time, to power one of his science experiments, Emmett hijacked a train.
Please, there hasn't been a train hijacking in Hill Valley since the days of Mad Dog Tannen.
So you say Emmett only has eyes for you?
Absolutely. It's almost embarrassing how devoted he is to me.
Well, it's good to hear he's finally settling down.
Yes. Settling down?
Ready to stop playing the field, as it were.
Playing the... Oh, you're joking.
Emmett's done a lot of shady things in his time. My vice principal warned me to stay away from him.
Your vice principal sounds like a dolt.
But I can't help feeling sorry for him.
Who?
All of Emmett's other girls, now that he's with you.
Please, I think I know Emmett by now. There are no other girls.
That's all the questions I got.
Very well, then.
Hey, Audie, you seen my Oriole?
You mean this?
Yeah, thanks.
She gets to come and go freely, and I'm forced to wait. I love it.
Ahem.
Back again, Mr. Corleone? What can I help you with?
Well, I was thinking. What's Trixie Trotter doing in that outfit?
What's she doing here at all? That's the question. Women of that sort are generally found outside cheap hotels, not science expos.
I wonder what's gonna happen to Emmett's little black book.
Little Black Book?
Oh, it's legendary. That's what enabled Emmett to become the, Valentino of Hill Valley High. Gee, I wonder if he'd let me have it.
You must think I'm pretty gullible, Mr. Corleone.
That's all the questions I got.
Very well, then. How about you? Have you got any questions for me?
No.
Then kindly let me pass.
I am afraid I can't until I've located your registration form.
Oh, this is absurd!
That notebook belongs to Doc. Nah, I don't think so. Maybe not. Not sure what that'll do. I still got some work to do.
Ah, good. You're back. Give me the full report.
She says she likes you because you've got a virtuous mind, you look good in a suit, and you're completely faithful to her.
Damn, she's got me dead to rights. Well, you'll just have to find a way to change her mind. I'll be here if you need any help. Do you need any help?
Edna doesn't seem to care much for Trixie Trotter.
She never could get past the fact that Trixie had been Kid Tannen's ma.
Dad never told me about a Hill Valley Expo.
It was Mayor Thomas's idea. He had visions of Hill Valley becoming a magnet for big investors in the technology sector. But the venture folded after the third year when the influenza exhibit leaked into the concession stand.
Oh. I think I'm starting to get a plan.
Good. Tell me. No, don't. After all, it's my history we're talking about. If I learn how you're planning on altering it, my resolve may weaken.
Any idea what your teenage self is doing right now?
Unless I miss my guess, he's in the garage frantically working on his latest invention and cursing because he can't quite get it to work. There!
So, what do we do about Edna?
Only one thing we can do. Lie. Make me out to be a less desirable catch than I really am.
Why would she believe me? She said she knows you inside and out.
Then you'll have to resort to skullduggery. You've done it before. You gotta be getting good at it by now.
Yeah, I guess I am. Have you figured out what's wrong with the time circuits?
Not sure. Possibly. It seems to me to be a simple wiring issue, but I'm double-checking to make sure. All the basic equipment appears to be functional.
Any chance I could borrow the DeLorean? I want to drop in on young you at the lab.
Well, I don't know. The time circuits...
Listen, I promise I won't take it to 88.
Even so, I'm worried about letting it out of my sight while it's still behaving unpredictably. Tell you what, I'll take it on a test drive 1 minute into the past. If it passes the test, I'll let you borrow it.
It worked. Didn't it?
I'm afraid not. In fact, the discrepancy appears to be getting worse. I arrived 6 hours ago.
Oh, too bad.
I didn't want to risk undoing any of the work you've done thus far, so I kept out of sight. But the time lag wasn't entirely a waste. I stopped by the hardware store and bought the parts for a chronometric analyzer.
A what?
A diagnostic device. See, I plug it into the time circuits and set them to cycle. When the green light goes off, I should have the data I'll need to understand the scope of the problem.
Hey, no driving the exhibits off the lot!
Looks like you'll have to find another set of wheels if you want to get to the lab.
To all who approach these hallowed halls, I bid thee welcome. To all who approach these hallowed halls, I bid thee welcome. To all who... Oh, hiya, kid. Say, aren't you the fellow who...
Got you to turn on Kid Tannen? You bet.
You look younger without your mustache. That was a dirty trick, you know, making me think Kid had gone and iced Artie.
I'm sorry, but it was the only way I could...
Forget about it. I'm trying to. Yesterday's in the past. That's my motto. You gotta live for today.
Right.
So what are you doing down here anyway? Do you wish to pull the levers that control the future? At the expo, silly. Technology for a better tomorrow, and all that.
Oh, yeah, that's actually why I'm here. So, who are you supposed to be?
Don't you know your Homer? I am Techni Muse of Progress. You can tell by the lightning bolts.
Must have slept through that class.
I'm supposed to be a goddess like. I'm the one who inspires all the great men who make the discoveries. And women too. Leave us not forget Madame Curie.
I never would. So, you work for the expo?
Yeah, ain't it a kick? I greet all the important guests, and on the final day, I get to bestow the golden sundial on the winning contestant.
Techni, Muse of Progress. Not a bad gig.
Artie got it for me. It's my entree into respectability.
So, Artie's working for the expo too, huh?
Oh, Artie's doing swell. The papers made a big deal of him testifying against Kid. People have been beating down his door ever since the trial. The expo's darn lucky they could get him.
How's Kid's trial going?
Slowly. You know what they say. The wheels of justice grind slowly, but infinitely fine.
Except in Hill Valley, where they don't move at all.
What?
Nothing, it's just, something I heard once. So no regrets about turning him in?
None at all. I should have known better than to take up with him in the first place. But what can I say? I was dumb. I let myself get taken in by his charm.
Charm? Whose idea was it to put a science and technology expo in Hill Valley?
Beats me. Artie says it's all bred in circuses. But I ain't seen a single clown yet today.
Listen, I've got a proposal for you. I have this friend, right?
No dice. I'm only seeing Artie now.
It's not like that. See, my friend's in a relationship with Edna Strickland.
Oh, poor schmuck. I wouldn't wish her on anyone.
Then you see where I'm coming from. He won't listen to reason, but I thought she might call it off if she thought he and you were,
Ah, you are an evil imp, ain't ya?
Sometimes a guy's got to resort to underhanded tricks. What do you say?
Sorry.
Ah.
Edna might be a pill, but if I play dirty tricks on every dame who disapproves of me, well, I'd play a lot of dirty tricks. Besides, such stunts are beneath the dignity of Techni, Muse of Progress.
Look, my friend Emmett really needs help.
The one who's going out with Edna Strickland? You're darn right he needs help.
I'm not asking you to actually seduce him. Just make her think that you two have a thing going. It'll drive her crazy.
I guess it would.
So...
I wouldn't do that to another girl unless I was good and mad at her. And besides, it might tarnish my image as a muse.
See you, Trixie.
From this chamber of wonders, we bid you a fond adieu.
If I'm gonna get to Emmett's, I need to find some... I suggested a little scheme to Trixie, but I don't know if she's gonna go along with it.
Pursue whatever strategies you like, but please don't tell me the details.
No keys. I'll have to find my wheels somewhere else.
Pleasant dreams, Hill Valley. And the Expo would like to remind you that you can find everything you need to transform your dreams into reality at Hal's Hardware. Hal's Hardware.
Hey, Artie.
Serving our fair city since 1895.
Can't talk right now.
Yeah?
When does the Expo
Not
open?
To all who... What's cooking?
Ideas. Up here. See ya, Trixie.
Don't be a stranger.